When the alien choir declared love illegal, they fought back. The first time humanity heard the choir, it wasn't with their ears. Every mind on earth received the message simultaneously, an immaculate harmony that reverberated not through the air, but through consciousness itself. Millions collapsed. A few screamed. Most simply stood paralyzed as the alien voices resonated with a clarity more intimate than their own thoughts. "We are the Choir of Lethuun," the voice sang. "Emotion is the seed of chaos. Love is the root of war. You will be freed from it." Within minutes, Earth's skies darkened as the choir's crystalline dreadnoughts descended, shimmering like facets of frozen light. Their arrival was not violent. It was surgical. A cool, humming wave spread from each ship, altering neural patterns the same way a tuning fork could shatter glass. Couples dropped their hands. Parents felt nothing when their children cried. Lovers woke beside each other as strangers. Love, biological, familial, romantic, was severed. And the world fell disturbingly quiet. The ones who could still feel. Nara Voss realized something had gone horribly wrong when her sister Mira didn't cry at their mother's funeral. Everyone else stood expressionless, the choir's harmonics having drained them of grief. But Mira, she didn't just look calm. She looked empty, as if she had been hollowed out and filled with still water. Nara listened for the harmony, the chorus drone that had burrowed into every mind, but she heard nothing. No internal vibration. No psychic hum. Just her own heartbeat. She was one of the rare ones the choir couldn't tune. Why her? Why a handful of others? The choir never explained. It was one of many questions she would never get an answer to. It wasn't hard to find the others like her. They all felt wrong in the new world, alive in a place where no one else was truly living. They found each other by instinct, drawn together like survivors in a storm. They called themselves Resonants. Nara lived with 8 of them in an abandoned subway station beneath Old Denver. They slept in a maintenance hall, strung with makeshift hammocks. They ate whatever they scavenged from deserted shops above, and at night, while the rest of the city lived in muted obedience, they whispered about memories everyone else had forgotten. Ezran, a former neuroscientist, was the oldest of them. "The choir's harmonics rewrite emotional pathways," he explained during one of their late-night meetings. "But something in our neural patterns rejects it. We're incompatible." "So we're broken," murmured Tally, a former teacher. "No," Nara said. "We're human." She clung to that belief, even when hope seemed impossible. Because as broken as the world was, one fact burned in her chest like a star. Love had not died. It lived in her, painful and bright. She would not let anyone, human or alien, take it away. 2. The world rewritten without love. 6 months after the choir's arrival, Earth had become disturbingly efficient. Wars ended. Crime nearly vanished. Breakups and heartbreak were obsolete. People worked like perfectly aligned gears, calm, obedient, and profoundly empty. City squares filled each morning with citizens listening to the choir's overlapping harmonies, receiving new tuning updates. They stood in neat rows, faces blank, eyes glassy. Even children, especially children. The choir had turned Earth into something that resembled peace, but felt like a mausoleum. Resonants like Nara were hunted relentlessly. Surveillance drones hovered like silver dragonflies, scanning for emotional signatures or erratic behavior. Anyone who cried out of sorrow or laughed from joy risked instant detection. Whenever Nara ventured above ground, she wore a blank expression, forcing herself into the corpse-calm motions of the tuned population. But her eyes could not hide everything. Whenever she saw Mira, once her closest friend, now a quiet stranger, Nara felt a stabbing ache in her chest. Her sister walked the streets with mechanical serenity, humming faint responses to the daily harmonization. Nara wanted to reach out, to shake her, to bring her back, but touching her would put them both at risk. 3. Ezran's discovery. The breakthrough came in the form of a tuning crystal. Ezran had stolen it during a daring raid on a choir outpost, an octagonal shard of iridescent glass humming with layered harmonics. It pulsed like a frozen heartbeat. Nara stared at it as Ezran placed it gently on a table of scavenged metal sheets. "What is it?" she asked. Ezran's eyes gleamed. "A choir resonator. It's how they alter emotions." Tally cringed. "That's what they used on my daughter." Nara reached out and touched the crystal. It vibrated faintly against her fingertips, as though studying her. Probing. Seeking a way into her mind. Ezran continued, I've analyzed its harmonic structure. Beneath all their messaging, all their tuning, there's a core frequency. A root note, Nara murmured. Yes. And if we can isolate it, we can reverse it. The room exploded with murmurs. You mean restore emotions? Ezra nodded. We can give people back their feelings. All of them. The Resonants stared at one another. A room full of fragile hope. And then Ezra added, very quietly, but the choir will destroy us if we try. Nara looked at the crystal again. She wasn't afraid. If there was even a chance to bring her sister back, to bring all of humanity back, it was worth dying for. 4. The price of defiance. It took Ezran 3 weeks to build the counter-harmonic device. Parts were scavenged from abandoned radio towers, drowned servers, decommissioned satellites. Wires coiled across their chamber like metallic vines. The core consisted of the choir's stolen crystal suspended within a loop of copper and trembling magnets. When activated, the device produced a low, trembling note that resonated in the bones. During the first test, they aimed it at a stray patrol drone. The device hummed. The crystal glowed. And the drone, normally unshakable, jerked violently, its lights flickering. For the first time, the mechanical insect swiveled in confusion, its scanning beam wavering. Then it tumbled out of the sky, shattering on the asphalt. Ezran exhaled in disbelief. It works, he whispered. But victory came with consequences. The choir heard the counter-frequency almost instantly. Their ships began shifting patterns, reconfiguring in the sky as if bracing themselves. The harmonization ceremonies intensified, becoming daily rather than weekly. Patrols doubled, then tripled. Worse, the harmony in the minds of a tuned population warped. People twitched, startled by sensations they didn't understand. A man broke down sobbing in the middle of a crosswalk, clutching his chest. A child laughed suddenly, almost hysterically, before a harmonization drone descended to retune her. The world was waking up too quickly, and the choir knew someone was responsible. We have to attack now, Ezran said. Before they locate us. Nara nodded. There was no turning back. Their target would be the choir's primary harmonics tower near the Denver relay, a monumental crystalline spire humming with psychic power. If they could broadcast Ezran's counter-frequency from that tower, it would spread worldwide in minutes. It was humanity's only chance. 5. Infiltration. On the night of the attack, snow drifted in slow spirals across Denver's silent skyline. Nara and the Resonants crept through the shadows, their faces hidden beneath tattered scarves. She carried the counter-harmonic device cradled against her chest, wrapped in thermal cloth to muffle its sensitive vibrations. As they neared the harmonics tower, the air grew heavy. Every breath felt like inhaling static. The choir's power thrummed through the streets. Citizens stood outside their apartments, the nightly harmonization about to begin. A choir drone drifted overhead, projecting a complex harmony that tugged at Nara's mind like invisible fingers. She watched Mira among the crowd, her gaze vacant, her posture obedient. Nara's heart clenched. Ezran whispered, "We'll free her. Soon." Nara nodded tightly and moved onward. The base of the tower was guarded by crystalline sentinels, choir constructs shaped vaguely like insectoid sculptures, their bodies glowing with internal light. They emitted a constant psychic murmur, like whispers layered over static. Tally drew a deep breath. "Do we have a plan for those?" Ezran smiled thinly. Improvisation. It was a terrible plan. But it worked. Tally hurled a salvaged EMP grenade into the guard cluster. The explosion of violet static sent arcs of electricity snapping across the constructs. Some collapsed. Others staggered, destabilized. The Resonants sprinted inside. 6. The climb. The interior of the harmonics tower felt alive. Light rippled through the crystalline walls like blood through veins. Each step up the spiraling walkway vibrated with the choir's core frequency, an emotional deadening note that pried at the edges of thought. Halfway up, Tally stumbled. "It's trying to shut us down." Nara grabbed her arm. "Keep going. Feel anything. Anger, sadness, fear, anything." Together, They pushed through the suffocating psychic haze until the walkway opened into the resonance chamber. The heart of earth suppression, a levitating crystal the size of a house, hovered above a pit of radiant cables. It pulsed with layered harmonics, each one a scalpel slicing away human emotion. Ezran stared up at it with awe and fury. If we amplify our counter-frequency through that, it'll reach every tuned mind on the planet. And wake the choir up, Nara added. Ezran swallowed. Yes, they'll know instantly. Nara stepped forward, determination like fire behind her ribs. Then let's make a count. 7. The choir descends. As soon as they activated the device, the chamber screamed. The colossal crystal flickered violently. Its harmonics warped, bending into discordant shrieks. Light strobed across the walls in jagged, glitching patterns. Then a voice boomed inside their skulls. Resonance. You disrupt the harmony. Nara gasped. The choir wasn't speaking, they were singing directly into their minds. Ezran clenched his fists. Ignore it. Love is a disease. Emotion is violence. We cured you. Tally shouted into the trembling chamber. You stole us. You hollowed us out. The choir's reply resonated with chilling certainty. You imprisoned yourselves. We only removed your chains. The air vibrated as 3 choir entities materialized, a shimmering trio of translucent beings shaped from crystalline light. Their faces were smooth masks. Their eyes shone with pity. Actual pity. Nara stepped forward. Love isn't a flaw. Love causes suffering. It also causes courage. Sacrifice, art, everything beautiful. Beauty is irrelevant. Harmony is peace. No, Nara whispered. Harmony without emotion is just silence. The choir moved toward them, their forms shifting like refracted glass. The chamber dimmed. We will cleanse you now. Ezran shouted. Nara, finish the sequence. She sprinted to the crystal, dodging a beam of psychic force that shattered the walkway behind her. The counter-harmonic device hummed wildly in her arms, its vibrations rising toward a chaotic crescendo. The choir's psychic assault hit them like a tidal wave. Tally fell to her knees, screaming. Ezran clutched his head, blood seeping from his nose. The others staggered under the crushing pressure. But Nara forced herself forward. She thought of Mira. She thought of the mother who used to braid her hair. She thought of stolen laughter in sunlit kitchens, of tears shed for real reasons, of holding hands under starlight. She embraced every emotion the choir despised. And she reached the crystal. 8. The world wakes up. When Nara slammed the counter-harmonic core into the heart of the choir's crystal, the shock wave was instantaneous. A deafening chord erupted, a sound older than language, raw as creation itself. The crystal blazed with impossible white light, expanding into a shimmering wave that tore through the chamber, the tower, the city, the world. A billion minds shuddered awake. Across cities, people gasped as feelings crashed back into them, love, grief, joy, longing, sorrow so deep it brought them to their knees. Families embraced, sobbing. Former strangers clung to each other, overwhelmed. Couples remembered who they were. Parents collapsed around children they suddenly cherished again. And somewhere in the crowd below, Nara Voss felt her heart surge with emotion, unstoppable, overwhelming, real. The choir screamed. The beings fractured like shattering glass, their perfect harmonies collapsing into chaotic dissonance. You have unleashed turmoil. You have doomed yourselves. Ezran staggered to his feet, wiping blood from his lip. No, we save what makes us human. The choir flickered in and out of visibility. Emotion breeds destruction. Nara stepped forward, trembling with exhaustion. Maybe, but it also breeds connection. And we choose that, every time. The choir's final note trembled, no longer confident, no longer absolute. For the first time, they seemed uncertain. Then their forms shattered into a rain of fading shards, dissolving into silence. The harmonics tower went still. Earth was free.